Greetings, brethren and sisters. Greetings in the name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I, one God. Greetings, Ethiopian people, those at home and abroad. Today, the struggle continues for the restoration of the constitutional monarchy of Emperor Haile Selassie I. As a people, to give us that direction as a royal nation. The Prime Minister, Abiy Ahmed, in his first month as a Prime Minister of the country, he get a chance to bring back Ethiopia to its past glory. And the constitutional monarchy of Ethiopia and its institution and symbols. To bring forward the trust and hope of the people as Ethiopians, those at home and abroad. We talk of economic liberation to bring forward that chapter of economic liberation. As we know, the GDP in Ethiopia has reached a new stage. But the foreign nations as China and Europeans, which is saturating the wealth of our country, while our people struggle to survive. Our Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed must use his influence in this time to bring forward that justice that the people deserve. To bring forward economic liberation, you have to reach out to the Ethiopians who live in exile from 1974, who developed certain economic and academic knowledge. You have to reach out to the Church of Haile Selassie I and the Imperial Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated, so as to help in the development of Ethiopia. You cannot leave it to foreigners, because I tell you, they wouldn't mind get Ethiopia without the Ethiopians. So we have to safeguard our history as our patriarchs long before has done. We as Ethiopians within the West can play an important part in the development of Ethiopia, economically, socially, and politically. Because the Imperial Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated, the vanguard for the Rastafarian movement, has played an important part from 1974 to keep the world abreast of what is taking place in Ethiopia. Emperor Haile Selassie I says, we must forgive, but we mustn't forget. And we mustn't let the acid of hate corrode our hearts. But at the same time, brethren and sisters, and our dear Prime Minister, you have to play your part within the direction where Ethiopia should be. You have to institute in your institution the return of our symbols. Just like how Europe have our artifacts from the time of Emperor Theodore, we have to be responsible in this time to ensure the continuity of Ethiopia through its constitutional monarchy, because it is the highest order of the land. It surpassed the Tigrayan Liberation Front and all other institutions. So you have to bring it back in the right direction, Mr. Prime Minister. Emperor Haile Selassie I has laid the base for the development of Ethiopia. It didn't use Marxism, Stalinism, communism, or none of those subjects. No. His Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I used modern Ethiopianism. Mr. Prime Minister, we know the work is at hand and the struggle you have to face to bring forward Ethiopia to its past glory. But stretch out that olive branch to the people, those who is in exile. Bring back the monarchy. It will take time, but you have to use your wisdom and your knowledge and understanding to bring it forward. Because that is what keeps us as royal people, Ethiopian people. Is that what keeps us alive until this day? If it was for Marxism, communism, we wouldn't be here. If it was for Hitler, Mussolini, we wouldn't be here. But the symbol of Ethiopia, Emperor Haile Selassie I, the base, the foundation that was sown from a longer time, from Samuel anoint David, come right up to Solomon, Menelik, and all the divine kings of Ethiopia, and Emperor Haile Selassie I as a liberator, our God. Mr. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, we ask that Jah, Emperor Haile Selassie I, put it in your thoughts, your mind, and strengthen you, and give you the courage to carry forward this sacred objective of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I, and what you have in mind to bring forward Ethiopia to its past glory. Ethiopia now stretch forth her hands unto God. Our Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, stretch forth your hands unto the Ethiopian people in exile. Stretch forth your hands to the monarchy in exile. Bring them forward to Ethiopia, to that past glory that our people long for. Economic liberation is important for our people. Yes, but everyone has to join hands and heart within this liberation, its economic liberation. And the Church of Haile Selassie I and the Imperial Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated must be a part of that change. So, Mr. Prime Minister, it's up to you in this time. Because the people, those at home and abroad, look upon you to bring forward that past glory that the people long for as a royal nation. Without that royalty, we as people is nothing. Yes. We must remember All who try to invade Ethiopia and overrun Ethiopia, and Ethiopia has never lost a battle to defend its sovereignty as a people. So, Mr. Prime Minister, bring back that past glory of Emperor Haile Selassie I. Go beyond 1974 and change it. Bring back the symbol of Ethiopia that the people long for, that the world know the symbol, our flag, green, gold, and red with a lion in it. Liberty in our nation. Long live Emperor Haile Selassie I. Majesty. Emperor.
Yes. Greetings from the Church of Emperor Haile Selassie I, the Imperial Ethiopian World Federation. Give thanks once again for, tuning to us here in our mass movement. Right now, as we say, we are directing this to the Prime Minister, our Prime Minister. And what we say, our Prime Minister, because since 1974, we have our Prime Minister that we can say is ours, because he's the first one that speaks of the glorious past. And we are a people of that glorious past. That's our struggle, to bring back that glorious past. So once he talks about the glorious past, and it have to be before 74, we must be talking about Emperor Haile Selassie I, the dynasty of Emperor Haile Selassie I. And we as a people in the West, and we say we want to go home. And without the restoration of the dynasty of Emperor Haile Selassie I, we cannot go home. Because for us to say repatriate, we must have a restoration. And we must, through a restoration, return and develop an economical base. So while we're in the West right here, it would be a good time to start working on an economical base. Because economical base is necessary. Because economical restoration right now is very important for us, for people that are thinking about going home to Ethiopia. So while we're here in the West, it's best for us to form a union. And as you say, farming is the key. Because farming for us is the base of the whole thing. Because farming was used to build back Ethiopia after 1941. And him deal with not just farming, but he brought in a new form of farming, which we know as scientific farming. And through scientific farming, which we're going to bring forth with the machinery and the development need to do proper farming. Through the Caribbean, we can CARICOM and Ethiopia, we can supply with food. Understand? That's the economic development. So farm is key, and we should look into it. And right now, in Jamaica and throughout the Caribbean is the base for that. And as you say, we right now are willing and ready to help in the restoration. Because with that, we can look for our true restoration dynasty of Emperor Haile Selassie I and return with an economical development. So that is the key. And right now, through the Church of Haile Selassie I and the Imperial Ethiopian World Federation organization, we need to have dialogue. We need to be in contact with each other so we can have dialogue, so we can speak on these things. Because it's necessary for Ethiopia and we in the Caribbean, and for restoration, and for we to repatriate and go home. So, His Majesty, from this point on, continue, His Majesty.
Greetings in the name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I, living God. All I have to say, I am calling upon our new Prime Minister in Ethiopia to open up the dialogue with us, the Rastafarian down here in Jamaica. And let us work together in an economic development, as His Imperial Majesty already been said and said. So that's all I have to say from the Church of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I, the living God. Bless.
Greetings in the name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Well, I'll be reading from Isaiah 58, verse 10 and to 12. To the Prime Minister, new Prime Minister in Ethiopia, this is a prophecy, you know. Just want to make the whole world know what is happening, because this is in the days of Emperor Haile Selassie I. So I'll be reading from Isaiah 58, verse 10 and to 12. And if thou draw out thy soul to the hungry and satisfy the afflicted souls, then shall thy light rise in obscurity, and thy darkness be as the noonday. And the Lord shall guide thee continually. Emperor Haile Selassie I will guide thee continually, and satisfy thy soul in the drought, and make thy fat thy bones, and thou shalt be like a water garden, and like a spring of water whose water fail not. Verse 12. And they that shall be of thee shall build the old waste place. You mention of building the old, building back and bringing back to the ancient. Blessed, this prophecy has to come true in 21st century. Thou shalt rise up the foundation of Emperor Haile Selassie I. Yes, the constitutional monarchy of many generations. And thou shalt be called the repairer. You shall be called the repairer of the breach. That breach it, you will be the repairer of the path to dwell in. Emperor Haile Selassie I liveth. You can read it. Isaiah 58, verse 10 and to 12. Blessed be Jah Rastafari, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Leave it, God.
Greetings in the name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Selassie I. Well, I want to congratulate our new Prime Minister of Ethiopia in this time, Mr. Abiy Ahmed. Ethiopia is longing for a strong leader that seeks good for its people. So with the idea of bringing Ethiopia back to its greatness, we would like to focus on that notion and make it happen. The Rasta people in the West, actually worldwide, is with you. And we appreciate our new Prime Minister for looking out for its people to restore Ethiopia to its past greatness, or its past glory, which Ethiopia is longing for. A true Prime Minister, a true leader, a strong leader. Greetings. Give thanks to our Prime Minister, Abiy Ahmed. Blessed be Jah.
One God. To the Ethiopian Prime Minister and the Ethiopian people at home and abroad, those in exile, the Crown Council, and Jamaican people who are Ethiopians under the sovereignty of the Emperor of Ethiopian government constitution, when His Majesty made that a part of the law. We in Jamaica, to you the Prime Minister, at the headquarters, the Imperial Ethiopian World Federation, the Church of Emperor Selassie I, we're going to support the cause for free and liberated Ethiopia, economic and political in terms of restoration of the dynasty of Emperor Selassie I. We give thanks to God, Emperor Selassie I, who made this possible for us to be able to communicate, because he said modern Ethiopianism long before it was overthrown. And this is what we have as our agenda, to modernize Ethiopia, to continue that struggle. We need your support. We will educate Jamaicans, bring Ethiopia and Jamaica together as one through a cultural event that we gain more understanding of our one another culture and see the similarities. And know that history will prove that we're the same people. And we thank that you are listening and you will see the need necessary to correct the abuse that all these foreign governments have brought into Ethiopia and take away the rights for the Ethiopian people to have that understanding about who they really are and who the emperor really is. We are going to correct the abuse together, from Jamaica through Imperial Ethiopian World Federation, Church of Emperor Haile Selassie I, and the new Ethiopian government under new Prime Minister. We're going to do it together. So with that, I say, may Jah bless you and the Ethiopian people and Jamaican people who is one. Blessed be Jah.
Greetings, greetings, greetings. I wouldn't mind if someone bright enough, well off enough could answer this question. Now, this is my question. In 1974, you said there was a coup. Before the coup, Ethiopia said was, I would say, prosperous. So then, what caused rather the takeover, and what brought it about? Please, someone answer me. Thank you.
Greetings in the name of Emperor Haile Selassie I, one God. I just want to congratulate the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, especially wanting to return the past, the glory of Ethiopia that everyone is waiting for. I wish I would touch every single situation in Ethiopia. Return back the name of Emperor Haile Selassie I to the college, the school, the church, every single thing. And restore the balance that was lost, restore the rights of the Ethiopian people. Let us trade, whether it's economics, whether education, skills, food, whatever it is. We are in the West, we are ready. So we are asking everybody who is out there who agree, leave them comment. And the Church of Emperor Haile Selassie I is here behind you, Mr. Prime Minister. Emperor Haile Selassie I.